What's going on, guys? Hope everyone is doing well. So today I want to talk about something that a couple people had questions on, and I think it's something that is pretty cool because a lot of people are getting into editing their own content and drone videos, and a lot of people are into DaVinci Resolve. So I've had some people ask, is it easier to edit on your iPad Pro or on your desktop? Now, there's a few things to keep in mind. A desktop obviously has a lot more. We got a studio display, we got another monitor, we have computer, hard drives, all kinds of cables and stuff all over the place, and we have to be permanently sitting at our desk looking at the computer. So it's a completely different experience, and there's a lot more involved, right? On this, we have the media page, we have the cut page, edit page, fusion, color, Fairlight, deliver. We have all those pages, and on this guy, we have the cut page and the color page. And guess what? It simplifies things for learning the software. I had very little idea other than my friend who's a really good colorist in the city and has hired me for Inspire work and stuff, and he's a great editor. But with that being said, he was always in the Resolve, and I watched him edit, and it was really confusing and looked totally overwhelming. I normally was editing in Final Cut Pro, and Final Cut Pro, to me, is a lot easier. It just seems more simplistic. And even though I love Resolve, and I know it has a ton of potential with color grading and all kinds of controls and things you can do with it. So there's a 4,000-page manual with the software, so that should tell you it's a pretty intense piece of software that goes really, really deep. So there's that. But for me, when I knew the iPad Pro version was coming out, I knew that was how I was going to learn the software. That's just how I work. I can easily figure out almost any app. It's just something I did even early on in the early App Store days. I would sit in my bed with my iPhone and literally download every single app because it would show the release date, because it was so new, like way back when it literally at first hit. And every single time a new app would come out, I would download it and kind of play with it and figure it out. Whether it was mainly photo stuff back in the day, but I was just really good at figuring out different apps and how to work and rock them. And that was what I knew I could do with DaVinci Resolve. So with the long story short kind of thing, it's definitely way easier to learn DaVinci Resolve on the iPad Pro, in my opinion. I was totally overwhelmed with the desktop version, and when I started really editing pretty seriously and pretty continuously and doing jobs and making money and making decent money with just my iPad Pro, you know, I mean, easy, whatever, it doesn't matter number-wise, but making money and doing nice jobs and nice work that clients were really happy with, I jumped onto my desktop when I actually bought the studio display and the Mac Mini, and even before that I had my iMac, but I guarantee I dove into DaVinci and knew a lot more just because I spent the time figuring it out on my iPad Pro. So if you're new to editing and you're new to Resolve, I would definitely check out, if you have an iPad Pro that supports DaVinci Resolve, get it and play with it. I mean, you're gonna have a great time editing and figuring it out, and it's just way simpler. I mean, you don't have all of this big whatever studio displays and monitors. Even if you just have an iMac or something, you have a lot more going on with the computer and a desktop. You can sit in your bed, you can sit on a chair, on the couch, whatever, coffee shop, anywhere, and just cruise and put this in your lap and play with it. And you can see the different tabs and the different things you can do and not do. And it's way easier to kind of make sense of. So with that being said, why don't I show you a little bit on how to edit on the iPad Pro, and I'll kind of give you, hopefully, a really quick glimpse, nothing too elaborate because you can really go on with explaining everything. Let's just do a quick import of some media from my drone and go through a simple edit and show you how easy it really is. All right, so now we're at my iPad Pro, and we have essentially the iPad Pro, an Apple Pencil, and I have a memory card reader. If you see this little guy, I'll put a link in the description below, and a micro SD card. So I'm going to take my micro SD card, simply put it into the card reader like so, and then put this into the USB-C port on my iPad Pro. So this is so far pretty simple. So we got that going. Now what do? We need to get some of the footage off of the memory card. How we do that is, because this is all part of it, yes, we need to work with the software, but we need to also get some footage to work with. So I'll show you that. So we're going to go in the files right here. I should do a screen recording just in case. Boop. And we're going to pull some files. So I already did this, but just so you see, say we have, is that a still picture? This is a still picture. We're going to scroll down to where we have some footage. And if you see something like this, all I'm going to do is pause it. I can preview it and see what the shot looks like. And then I go to this arrow right here in the upper right-hand corner to press it and say Save Video. And this is going to save it to our photo section of the iPad. So it's going to kind of go by date normally, and I probably already have it because I did a little edit, but we have that right here, I believe. And then, again, we're essentially going to grab whatever we want to edit. Of course, that makes sense, right? So whatever footage we like, ideally a little tip would be only bring what you need, but if you want, bring anything that you think may make it into the edit so you're done with this stage. And that's it. You can sit with DaVinci Resolve. If you don't want the footage or you didn't use it, you can go ahead and delete it later. So this is a 2 terabyte capacity, but not everyone has a large capacity like this because it is a lot of money. So say we want to download this. We're going to go ahead and hit the arrow key again, save video, and keep this memory card and the card reader in your slot, because a lot of times if it's a longer clip, say you have a minute clip or ProRes or anything like that, it may take a second or a minute or two to write to your photos. So that's going to be over there. We got another clip. I think it was this guy or it was something ice-wise. But now what we're going to do, that's a quick little blip on how to get your footage into your photos. And then this is what I do once we go into Resolve. So again, I'm going to try to make this relatively quick. This is not going to be a really huge tutorial, but this is going to show you that it is pretty simple. So if I go to the lower right-hand corner, there's this little home icon right here. I'm going to hit that. New project. Boom. We'll name it. We'll say Tutorial 101. Create. Boom. And now we have nothing in the timeline, nothing in our media. And what I do personally, I'm going to use my finger right now. In the upper left-hand corner, 2 little icons over. So not this one right here, which is add a bin. The next one, you're going to long press and say import from photos. So you need to long press it to see all 3 of these options. If you just tap it, it's going to pull up this, which you can access your photos too, but I just normally go import from photos, long press, and we can grab a few things. So maybe I'll grab one shot over here. This is all from the flip, which was not great footage, but kind of crappy drone, but another video for that guy. So we're going to grab this clip, maybe, oh, not all of those, maybe that one. Oop, I'm grabbing too many, but as you see, we can select what we want. This one, and maybe we want one of the flip just to show, and maybe this guy. And then we can hit add. So now we have all of these clips, and it's going to pull up this, change project frame rate. So right now, I shot all of those in 4K 60, and I don't want to change the frame rate of the timeline because I want it to be 30 frames per second. So if I want to slow down the footage, I can, because it's 6K footage or 4K footage at 60 frames per second. So I'm going to say don't change. And now I can check right here in the bottom right-hand corner. This will show us what we're at. So my timeline right now says 24 frames a second. I'm going to go ahead and click 30 and then hit save. Okay, change. So now I can grab a clip. So all I need to do is use my pencil. Everything's here in the media pool. So you see that? We have 5 clips, not too much, not overwhelming. And we're going to grab one of these guys. So I'll grab, I'm long pressing and dragging it into the timeline. You can see, boom, hit play. And now what we want to do is just get the part of the clip or the footage we want to use, like it, make sure it's all in frame. A little annoying flip sound. So maybe we'll just go ahead over here. Now if you see, these are some of the things you want to familiarize yourself with. So see this little scissors? The scissors right here is going to be to cut the clip. This is going to be to delete, the little trash can in the lower left-hand corner. So I'm going to go with scissors, clip it. It's selected and highlighted in red, the part that I don't want. I'm going to hit delete, and now I have this part of the clip. Really annoying, but that's fine for now. So in the beginning, say I want to add a transition. All I'm going to do is go up to the top. So at the top area, we got media, sync, which I've never even used before. So I don't even know what that does. I think that's if you're doing multicam. So I've never used that. Transitions, all your transition area. So I'm going to go up to here. I'm going to drag a cross dissolve to the beginning. You're going to see it kind of snap into play. And now we have a cross dissolve, right? So pretty easy. All of our dissolves are right here. We have a bunch of different ones that I downloaded from Motion VFX and other places like that. So from here, what will I look at? I'm going to look at the audio. It looks like it's clipping. So what you want to do is go into Inspector, go into this little area right here, the little volume music icon, and then we can lower the gain right here. So see this? I can just scrub and maybe go like -8, just to get that a little quieter. Now what I would want to do is maybe make that a little better. So what I'm going to do color-wise is go into the little color tab. We only have 2 pages in Resolve on the iPad Pro. You can add more. I know Daniel, that one guy who does a lot of Resolve videos for the iPad Pro, I've done it too, but I personally like having less. Less is more to me. And I'm going to go here, and now I'm just going to look at my scopes. We have scopes, so it's totally legit. I can go to gain, or lift, lift to make sure the blacks are not crushed. Just kind of get it away from the 0 bottom area. We can go to gain to kind of raise a little bit the highlights. I can go to shadow, maybe. It could even go color boost, maybe not color boost, maybe saturation. But you see, everything's right here. You can go mid-detail, maybe not. But it's going to look better than it just did. And this is what you kind of learn and play with and get familiarized with over time. So this is the first step to editing, is basically adjusting the audio, adjusting the color, and getting the part of the clip you want into the edit, right? So now what do we want? Say we want music, but let's go ahead and add one more clip. Or here, we'll go to add music. So right now, I'm going to go in the media here, and I'm going to long press with my finger, because it's just with all this stuff going on with the camera, long press, and this will say import media. So I have files on my iCloud drive that I got from artlist.io and Epidemic Sound. So let's go ahead. All I have to do now is long press, and I could say quick look. So now I can go ahead and preview any of my music that I downloaded and decide if it's something I want. So maybe I don't want that. I could literally scrub to the next one. And just kind of go like that as far as looking for my music. This is what I do. So this is my little workflow. I'm not going to spend a ton of time. I could spend an hour, if not more sometimes, so I'm on the right track, especially if it's for a paid job. But let's go ahead and just grab one. So we'll use this one. So I'm going to go ahead here, hit the arrow, Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to, wait, which one was that? Romeo? So I'm going to select it, hit open, and it's going to populate right here into my media for this project. I'm going to drag this thing down, and now I have a little music, which really starts making you kind of get inspired about wanting to edit further. At least it does for me. I kind of get amped when I pick the right music, and it starts to just all come together and start to flow. So here, boom. Maybe we stop over here where the music shifts. I'm going to select that clip, and I'm going to go to where my scissors are. Remember, familiarize yourself with the scissors and the trash can, and on the bottom left corner, undo and redo. Those are huge things to familiarize yourself with in the software. But I'm giving you a quick walkthrough. Anything that I touch, I'll try to explain. If I didn't, I'm sorry. I'm doing this video kind of just last minute, and I want to get something out there for people who are requesting it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the scissors. I'm going to select the part. It will be highlighted in red that I don't want. I'm going to hit the trash can, and now I'm going to go grab another clip. So let's go ahead and grab this guy. And I don't know if this is D-Log or not. I can go and select the clip and hit, there's a little info button over here. And it should show main 10. I don't think it's D-Log. I don't think it is, at least. Let me see in the inspector. I think over here I can tell. So in the inspector too, here, let me do that again. So if I select the clip, watch this. This is kind of important if you want to look what your footage is. Select the clip, go to inspector, and over here it's normally highlighted. We can go to the end and it will show our camera info. So right now it says codec 2.65, 10-bit, 59, whatever, 60 frames per second, 4K. So we know that's what we shot it at. I don't know where it would show D-Log or not, honestly. So you can let me know in the comments below about that. But let's go ahead and edit this. And let's go ahead and color grade this, I should say. And we can go ahead and adjust the lift. This is usually what I do in the beginning. So I'm going to adjust the lift and the gain. If I'm right or wrong, this is how I do it. Gain. And I'm going to probably lighten the shadows a little bit. Maybe even color boost, because I don't care. I can. I know people may not think that's the right way to go about it. Maybe mid-detail. Maybe lighten the shadows to pull in some of the blacks on the building. But right now, that doesn't look too bad. So let's see. I mean, pretty good, right? Now, if I want to get a little fancier, and this is just me playing around, doing my thing, a guy who is just kind of familiar with apps and iPads and iPhones, you can go into the inspector again, or actually you go into the color page, and I can go scroll down the library settings for effects, and I can maybe go to, I'm going to make sure nodes is enabled, and I can go to dehaze, and I can just drag dehaze onto that node, and that may be too much, or it may be cool. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe a little much, but at the same time, it's pretty cool. And that's just essentially dehaze, which I'm really familiar with as a photographer. I use that all the time to kind of punch up images. So why not play around with it on the iPad Pro in the video side of things? And that's what I'm doing. And then maybe because you're kind of getting it a little punched up, you may need to go back in and maybe lighten the shadows a teeny bit and do something like that to kind of dial it back. So there we have that clip. So let's go ahead and get this going. Boom. Now we want to try to get the part that we want movement-wise. So that looks kind of good. I'm going to get rid of this first part. It's selected, delete it. Now, this is another move. You use your pencil and kind of swipe it towards the other clip and it will snap into place. So let's go ahead and see. We could even do this, I think, transition audio. So there's audio transitions, and I can go -3 here. I think, maybe I can't. I thought I could do a dissolve for this, but maybe I can't. Maybe I can just, let me see. No, it's not going to allow me. Maybe if I do a cross dissolve. Whoop. Something like that. You can trim the resolve. I mean, you could trim the transitions. So here. Okay, see, the movement wasn't great, so I'm going to delete that part and kind of swipe that over here. Okay, maybe over here, say I want to maybe do something different, maybe I'll speed ramp it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the clip right here with the scissors, boom, on the left-hand side. I'm going to select this other part of the clip that I want to speed ramp. I'm going to go into Inspector in the top right corner, and now I'm going to go to Speed Change. Now I can reverse the clip, freeze it, or increase it or decrease it in speed. So let me go 200 times, or 200 whatever. There we go. So maybe till right until think like right in this zone. So I'll drag this back a little bit and grab one more clip. So let's go ahead. We're kind of now in the flow a teeny bit. I know this is a long video, but it takes a second to edit. So let's go ahead and just do one more, and maybe we can just call it a day, because I don't want it to be too long and boring. So again, we're looking for the beginning of the movement, maybe right here. I'm going to highlight the clip, hit cut, delete the part that we don't want movement-wise, drag this and kind of swipe it back, and it will snap into place, as you see. Now we go. And that looks all right, but maybe we want to use the grade of this clip for this guy. So what we can do is go into the color page, and we see we have our nodes enabled. If we don't see those, or I'm sorry, not nodes, clips. So up here in the upper left next to LUTs, if you don't see this, hit clips and it will pull those down. Now we have this selected, okay, this last clip. If we have the red around it and I go ahead and long press, it's going to say apply grade. And basically it just applied the grade to the previous clip to this clip, and it doesn't look great, but I want you to know that this is a really powerful way of color grading pretty quickly on the iPad Pro. So maybe that didn't work, so I'm going to go hit the undo in the lower left-hand corner, this arrow, and I'm going to try it with this one. So now I'm going to try to long press this, apply grade, and that looks a little better. Again, we don't really care right now, I'm just showing you. We'll lower the shadow a little bit to make sure we have a nice black of the building. And now, look, we have boom, music, a transition. Maybe we want a title, so I'll have titles right here. We can go down. I got a bunch of different ones from Motion VFX. They're not helping me out with this, but at the same time, that is where I'm getting them from. So say we want to do something like that, just anything. We can now have the title selected, go into Inspector, and now we'll have where we can change the text. So maybe I want DJI Flip Chicago. All right, something like that. So now we have a title. Boom. We have a speed ramp. We have color graded clips. What else do we have? we have the volume clipping a little bit. So what we're going to do is highlight the main audio track, and right here, because we're in Inspector still in the upper left-hand corner, you got to make sure you can toggle back and forth because that's going to bring up different controls. Now we can let it play in real time and lower it to like -10. That's usually where you want to be. And that's it. So maybe add a little transition, whatever it may be. We can do something like, we have all kinds of different transitions, but less is more usually. I don't know. We'll put that there just for kicks. I don't even know what that is. And then we can add maybe something like, if I long press here, I'm going to go import from photos, maybe my logo or your logo, drag it and drop it. Now I'm going to drag another transition because that didn't work. Boom. And now I can cut the audio track, delete that part, and then go to Transitions, Audio, -3 dB, and then I can drag this so it starts to fade out way earlier, maybe when the transition or the dissolve starts to come into play. Boom. And that's it. So, pretty cool, right? And if you start doing this 20 times, guess what? You're going to get better and more efficient every single time. And then when you jump over to the desktop version of DaVinci Resolve, guess what? It's all going to make a lot more sense, I promise you. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to go to this little area right below full screen, and I'm going to go to not full HD where it is right now because I'm editing in a HD timeline, not 4K. I'm going to select 4K, and then I'm going to go to Export, and then I'm going to say Share. So this is selected at Share, Share, Save Video. And now put the pencil back, sit back, don't touch anything. Let this thing, this is an M4 iPad Pro, so these smoke, even the M2s were really quick. So love this thing a lot, and I edit on it a lot, even for a lot of jobs. So can't say more about editing on your iPad Pro. I actually like LumaFusion 2. That's actually a really great piece of software. Final Cut Pro to me blows on the iPad Pro. So Resolve and LumaFusion are two really great things to play with, but this is obviously about Resolve, so let's stay with this. So we got this thing exporting out in 4K. It's going to go to the camera roll. Let's go ahead and see our work. So 41-second edit. Boom. Title. Color grading, transitions, speed ramp, looks pretty good. Music, royalty-free, Epidemic Sound or Artlist.io. A nice clip with the flip, even though that thing is returned. Did not love being at altitude. And yeah, kind of it. We added a nice little transition to our logo, very professional. We could have added a subscribe button or something. And that's it, guys. So I'm hoping this helps show you about editing in Resolve, and just know that these are some of the things we're going to kind of look at. We got transitions, titles, effects, inspector, export, full screen. This area, which will go to your project section. This will go to your timeline settings. Undo, redo, trash can, color page, toggle to the cut page. You know, LUTs, if you want LUTs, if you're working in D-Log or log. We have all of our clips, and we have our nodes and the effects over here. So that's it for now. Let me know what you guys think. And sorry if this is too long of a video, but it's really hard to talk about this in 10 minutes to actually be relatively thorough. So that's it, guys. Aloha, subscribe, bye.